Honeyville Foods, Lisa B. This is meals in a jar. We are going to show you how to make her famous
pot roast gravy over mashed potatoes.
In a jar.
In a jar.
In a single jar that can store for 5 to 7 years.
Yep.
Okay, take it away, Lisa.
Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to create 2 separate parts to this, and this is what we wanted to talk about before. So here's my mashed potatoes. I've used the potato pearls, if you've seen those. They're great. And then we want to ramp those up just a little bit, and so into that I have some powdered butter, I have a little sour cream, and then I love to use the Wayzata spuds. This is a great all around. You can make the most amazing potato salad, all kinds of things with that. You can see I've already used that big huge jar. But that's all in here, that's ready to go because we keep that separate. So that's going to be in the top so that we can take that out. In the bottom, we're going to do the pot roast gravy. And so we're going to put into here, we're going to start again with our most fine filaments.
And these are your number 10 cans, TMPers, the core ingredients for her pot roast. You can buy these, of course, from Honeyville. I'll do what I can to get you a deal on it, but the margins are actually pretty slim that they have. So
this is the Ultra Gel that we're starting with. Ultra Gel is a maize that is a thickener. It's a natural, it's gluten-free, the things that you can do with that. If you've used the Clear Gel and some of the others, those have to be cooked. Ultra Gel does not. You can use this cold or hot. It is phenomenal to have on. Put it in your whipping cream, it never separates, all kinds of things. But we're using it in here to make our gravy so that we don't have to do a thickener or anything to go with that. So first of all, I've got that. Then I'm gonna put in my beef bouillon. I love the Shirley J because it's got no sodium, or very low sodium, no MSG, great flavor, the things that go with that. This is a great one to have on hand.
You could use any powdered bouillon, but this is her favorite.
In the recipe, it calls for Wayzata spices. They're my favorite. You can see the size of them. You can see what's in there. They don't break down nearly as quickly. So it calls for Stupendous, which is one of my favorites. But
let's show this because a lot of people out of state won't even know what we're talking about. Can they buy these from Honeyville?
Yes, they can.
Okay, so go to Honeyville's website and you can see these for sale there.
Or check with your local gourmet
Okay.
cooking area. They may have them. Check there. If not. But they have such a wide range. If you look at those, look at that. That is beautiful.
That's a quality spice.
Okay, so that's Stupendous. In this one, I'm going to use Prime Rub. The thing I love about Wayzata, a lot of spice companies use 3 or 4 basic spices, and then they'll switch out 2 or 3 to make a different one. Wayzata completely reblends everything. Their flavor is so great. The taste is amazing. So we're going to put that in here.
Okay.
So we've got our spices in there to do our gravy.
Look in the sidebar, you'll see this recipe,
Yep.
guys.
Then we're going to use our tomato powder. I love Honeyville tomato powder because I can make this into a paste, I can make it into a sauce, anything else. And if you have an electric pressure cooker, the flavor blooms to, oh, it's my favorite. So we're going to be putting in our tomato powder. We don't want a heavy tomato gravy, but we want some in there. Then I've got my dehydrated onions. We have both dehydrated and freeze-dried. The difference is dehydrated is a yellow onion, freeze-dried is a white onion. So you decide if you have a flavor taste preference on that. So I'm going to put in...
Any cost difference or storage life difference between the two?
Storage life, really not a difference.
Okay.
Cost, we'd have to check.
It's going to be minimal.
I've been doing more cooking lately, not so much of the other, so that's my fault. Then we're going to put in our mushrooms. I love our mushrooms because they are such nice pieces. They're not little dices. They are the slice. Look, there's the top part of a mushroom. I mean, it's real mushroom. Ooh, they're so good. So we're just going to do a third of that. Now, if you were doing this will feed about 5 people. If you were doing a smaller amount, you would cut this recipe in half and then put it in a pint jar, and you'd be able to do that. And then our last part is that diced beef that we were talking about before. And I'm going to put in my diced beef in the top because we want a nice gravy.
And keep in mind, TMPers, we have a separate video showing the different storage methods. We have glass, peat containers, and then Mylar, just for the class here, so you can see it. We're using a glass jar.
Okay, so when we're talking about our sealing, a lot of times what I tell people, because we're using a separate baggie for our potatoes, I'm going to put that oxygen absorber down in there. And when it activates, it will make sure. The problem with using just the oxygen absorber on this one is sometimes the air will get trapped. I want to make sure that that gets down in there. So I've got my potatoes in here. I'm going to leave this baggie so that I can, the corner of it, so that I can pull that out.
Question real quick.
Yep.
You don't want to mix that with this then. The potato pearls.
No, we're
and the
keeping
other
our
stuff.
mashed potatoes separate. We're making our gravy so it goes over the top. We're not making a casserole. We're making mashed potatoes with the gravy, and then you might want to have in our bag that we talked about, have a can of green beans or have biscuit mix or what are the other things. We'll talk about that in another video.
I wanted to make that clear for the viewers though, that this is actually 2 different cooking dishes that we're putting together here,
Right.
correct?
So I've got my gravy to go over the top of my mashed potatoes. So we see that when we're doing that.
Okay.
So a lot of times I would run my instructions right here. We can put that on there and just tape it onto the front of this. So if I'm giving this as a gift, we did this for gifts for a neighbor after they'd had a baby. And the husband came up to me about a week later and he said, please teach my wife how to make that. She can't make that on her own.
That's why Mrs. Nutton is with me, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, so I have my oxygen absorber down in there, right? But I want to make sure, because I'm dealing with real meat, I want to seal this, and I'm going to get that going.
By the way, Team Peers, we're going to take this home, cook it, and give you our rating at the end of the video, right?
Right.
An honest rating, Lisa. Are you good with
Sunday
that?
dinner. We're ready for Sunday dinner. Ready for you to go.
If it's awesome, we're going to tell them. If it's okay, we're going to tell them that too. We all have our own preferences of what we like and what we
That's
don't
right.
like.
That's what we want to do, is have that come together. And then
Everything we've eaten from you, though, has been outstanding.
Thank you.
All of her
And then you
recipes
can
have been
tweak
really
it to be
good.
how you want. If you add different things, if you like parsley in your gravy, put parsley in your gravy. If you don't want as many mushrooms, don't put mushrooms. That's the beauty of this whole thing, is it becomes your recipe. Take what we give you as a base and then tweak it to how you want it, make it to your family, and then you're enjoying what you have on a quick basis.
And
This
make
takes-
it, though, from your recipe. That
Right.
is your basis. So
Right.
make it according to Lisa B. I keep saying that so people are not overwhelmed when they look at this. Because if you say, for my wife, for instance, if you say, hey, cook me something awesome.
Because he's picky.
What?
He's so picky.
No way.
Yeah.
But if I can have this ready in about 7 minutes, so I have a Yankee pot roast gravy over my mashed potatoes, cook some beans or something on the side. You've got that in about 7 minutes ready to go. That's just on the stovetop. So you've got the beauty of that, of having it ready to go, the flavor that you want, a healthy meal. You've got your vegetables, your starches, all of your different things. You can put that together so that you've got it ready to go.
I'm a meat and potatoes man, Lisa.
Okay.
I gotta tell you. But like she said off camera and in our visits last year, this is actually a dish in a jar.
This is.
So if you wanted a meal in a jar, it actually in Lisa's world be a meal in a bag. She would have vegetables, perhaps in a can, along with this, maybe a dessert or something else. But this is what we're concentrating on for this video. It's
Right.
just this dish in a
So
jar.
I've got 7 minutes. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to put my potatoes in one. I'm going to start my gravy in the other. It's going to thicken up. It's going to be ready to go. And it's all set.
That's it.
Okay?
Lisa B's pot roast beef gravy with mashed potatoes. You put it in the right container, you suck all the air out, it will store 5 to 7 years. And it's made with the best ingredients that mankind currently knows how to make in freeze-dried and dehydrated form. Thanks for watching.
Thanks
That
for
fancy
coming.
project.
Okay.
Okay, let's take Keisha.